Hello, thank you for listening. This is the near-death experience of Melinda. Open quote. I woke up the morning of October 31st, 1990, from a strange dream that I was pregnant again. It felt like a baby was in the womb and my belly was round with a baby. I noticed that my period had arrived and I was bleeding heavily. I was surprised because I had been breastfeeding. I called the doctor's office, and they said that it was probably normal, but to keep a watch on it. I packed up my newborn baby girl and book bag. Then I took a city bus to the university to attend classes that morning with my baby. I felt fine. It was only on the bus ride back home at about 10:30 a.m. that I felt something roll out of my body and down my pant leg when I stood up to get off the bus. Much to my horror, I realized it was a blood clot the size of a softball. I picked my clot up as people gasped and stared at me. I made the decision that I wasn't going to be able to make the few blocks walking to make it back home, across the street to the hospital. I only made it as far as the grass out front of the emergency room. I was gushing blood and started to get dizzy and lightheaded. I tried to get the attention of two emergency room paramedics who were smoking out front, but I couldn't make a sound louder than a whisper. I tried to fall with my arms outstretched so that I didn't fall on my baby newborn girl. I passed out while falling to the ground with my baby in my arms. Next thing I remember was waking up in the emergency room. I was receiving emergency blood transfusions and told that I had probably retained placenta from birth. They told me that they would need to do an emergency D&C to help scrape my uterus. I then was taken to surgery. I was in surgery 3 more times that day, yet they couldn't stop the bleeding. I was given an experimental drug that was supposed to seize my uterus and make it clamp down to get the blood loss to stop. It caused me to stop breathing instead. They were able to revive me and thought that they had fixed me. They took me to the maternity ward to recover and be reunited with my newborn daughter, who needed to be breastfed. The nurse who helped me to deliver her on October 1st was just getting started on her shift. She brought me a plate of food to try to get me to eat. When I tried to sit up, the hemorrhaging started again, and it was even worse than before. I was pretty weak. They called a crash cart and asked me for my parents' phone number. I was shaking, cold, and going into shock. They weren't able to get a reading on my blood pressure, and my resting heart rate started to elevate. It was going 130 beats per minute, and then it was going over 150 beats per minute. I was in pain because the blood was leaving my head and arms and legs. They stuck a big needle in my neck and started to pump blood directly into my neck. I knew that I was dying and not going to make it. My heart went up to 180 and then over 200. The amount of pain was unbearable. I was scared and didn't want to die, but couldn't take the pain anymore. Every cell in my body was screaming due to the lack of oxygen. I was given over 56 units of blood. I was scared, and so were the doctors and the nurse. I remember a doctor told me that they were going to operate and take my uterus out. He said that I might not survive the operation because I was so weak. I was asked again to sign a medical waiver. A Catholic priest came into my room to give me my last prayers. I could not longer move or talk or blink. The pain was too much. When my heart rate hit 220, I heard them say I was in defibrillation. They were trying to shock my heart. I couldn't even use my eyes anymore. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't breathe. I learned what it means to lose total control. At my darkest and lowest and saddest moment, I realized that I wasn't alone. I realized that I had a guardian angel just to the right of me. I knew his name was Michael. He was holding my hand. I realized that there was a second angel who was next to Michael. I rose above my body. I could see the doctors were very scared. I could see that my body was blue in color and in very grave condition. I was drawn into the hallway because I could hear my daughter crying for me. I tried to comfort the doctors and nurses. I wanted to tell them that it was okay. I could hear and see that nurses were fighting about me in the hallway and upset that I had been taken up to the maternity ward. I should have been in an intensive care unit or the emergency room. At some point, a veil lifted. I was drawn into a long, dark tunnel that had a very bright, white light that was shining love. I could hear harps, and I saw my great uncle Harry and Aunt Vickie. I was in total bliss and happiness. I was home. I didn't want to go back. I had a life review where I saw every single event from my life. I saw every act of goodness and kindness. I saw every act of spite or ill will. I also got to see it from the other person's point of view. Although time did not exist, this life review took forever, but in reality, it was only a blink of a second. I didn't want to go back because I was surrounded by love and the light was God. I realized that we are all brothers and sisters. We all love each other very much, but we live in fear on earth, and that prevents us from realizing and remembering that we're all connected. I felt such incredible love. I saw courtyards with beautiful, vibrant roses that were more colorful than on earth. I saw colors that do not exist. I understood infinity and all the knowledge of the universe. I saw white buildings that were open and in the sky. They reminded me of buildings from Greece and Athens. I saw the future for my children and where I came to understand that their father was not to play a role in our lives. I was told this so that I could be strong and still love him even if he was away. I was liberated. I no longer had to love or try to please this person. I knew I had to go back, but I really wanted to stay. I knew that it would hurt to go back to my body. I truly knew that this was home. The bright light filled everything and was totally God's love, unconditional and filled with such joy and peace. I woke up in the ICU. After resuming my life, I found that nothing in life was as hard as coming back. I found that school was easy, and all of life's challenges are a breeze. I am not afraid of death. I can read people's minds and see into the future. I see articles on TV or in the paper, and I'm reading them 31 days into the future. I have dreams that come true, and I get to visit Michael the angel or my loved ones or pets that have crossed over. I can sometimes heal people or start engines or charge batteries or open doors with my mind. I've been the person to arrive to car accidents or suicides or drug overdoses on dozens of occasions. I have performed CPR and brought people back to earth or helped them to pass over. I was not surprised when the father of my child died a few years later. I had already been given the knowledge. Michael told me telepathically. We did not have to use words. I know when I'm going to die or may come close to it once again. I learned that everything we do matters. Even the person you smile to on the way to the bakery or work. Even the creatures big and small that you bend over to pet. Nothing goes unnoticed. It all matters. My purpose is to stand up for the meek, to be compassionate, but most of all is to love. End quote. Wow. What a story, Melinda. And she comes back to Earth and she's bringing her special power. She's got the big three for sure. It's healing people, starting cars, and charging batteries. Plus a lot of other things, too. There's a couple questions here. Let's see. Describing your highest level of consciousness. Answer, I've always been spiritual and compassionate and sensitive, but now I was able to see all and know all. I felt great compassion and love to all the doctors and nurses. I could see/smell their fear. I could see that is 99% of all of the problems on earth. Question, describing your vision. Answer, I saw in 360-degree vision. I was all-knowing and all-caring. I could see all around me and into the hallway. I went to visit my daughter in the newborn room. And comparing your hearing. Answer, my hearing was normal, but I could hear even better. I could hear the nurses fighting in the hallway about me. One nurse was mad at the other nurse for not calling the code blue sooner. I could hear my newborn child crying for me in a different wing. Question, what emotions did you feel during the experience? Answer, I went from the worst dread and pain and loss of control when I was dying to the best joy and peace and unconditional love possible. Complete and total love and acceptance and fulfillment. I was home. I did not want to go back. Question, did scenes from the future come to you? Answer, I was told that the father of my children was going to die and I could not save him. I had to be strong and focus on saving myself and my daughter. I was told that the angels would watch over us and give him unconditional love. I was told he would die at age 32. Question, did your experience include features consistent with your earthly beliefs? Answer, it was consistent and non-consistent. Heaven was like everything we had been told in church, but that I didn't all the way believe. Experience is believing. Now I know, and now I believe. Question, what was your religion prior to your experience? Answer, Christian, Protestant. And question, have your religious practices changed since your experience? Answer, yes, more spiritual and believe/pay attention to the stories in the Bible. Question, what is your religion now? Answer, Christian, Protestant. Question, did you have a change in your values and beliefs because of your experience? Answer, yes, grateful and appreciate every moment and every single day of my life, free to laugh and spread joy, no longer fear. Question, did you seem to encounter a mystical being or presence or hear an unidentifiable voice? Answer, I heard God and my two guardian angels in my head, instant knowing, no actual words necessary. Question, did you encounter or become aware of any beings who previously lived on earth who are described by name in religions? Answer, yes, I saw Jesus. He was one and the same with God. Question, during your experience, did you gain special knowledge or information about your purpose? Answer, yes. When you pay it forward and help others, you actually help yourself. You save yourself. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about the meaning of life? Answer, yes. We are all to love one another all the time, every day, and be grateful for all. During your experience, did you gain information about the afterlife? Answer, an afterlife definitely exists. There is continued existence, and this is our one true home. I wasn't told. I experienced it. Question, did you gain information about how to live our lives? Answer, yes. We must forgive each other and ourselves. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about life's difficulties, challenges, and hardships? Answer, yes. We will face many challenges individually and as a world population, but they are opportunities to learn and grow in love. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about love? Answer, yes. Love is what it's all about. And overcoming fear of death. There is no death. Question, what life changes occurred in your life after the experience? Answer, large changes in my life. School became easy. Being a single mother? Easy. Being a friend and a healer to others? Easy. Being a public speaker? Piece of cake. Healing others and rushing to help people in accidents or times of needs? My specialty. Question, Have your relationships changed specifically because of your experience? Answer: yes. I was able to leave an abusive relationship. I knew that God would love the father of my children for me. Question: was the experience difficult to express in words? Answer: yes. I could understand infinity. Time and space do not exist. I could see/understand everything. I could talk with using my mind. I did not need to use my lips. I felt bliss and joy and unconditional forever love. I knew that was back home. Question: how accurately do you remember the experience? Answer: I not only know that there is life beyond death, I 100% know. Okay, no doubts, no fear. Question: do you have any psychic, non-ordinary, or other special gifts after your experience that you did not have before the experience? Answer: yes. I can heal and read people's minds and see into the future. I can sometimes move objects like doors or cupboards with my mind. I can stop a watch or start a watch with my hands. I can remotely start my car or pick up metallic objects with my hand like a magnetic field. I can sometimes heal my car or turn the TV off or no with my mind. I can pick up the phone before it rings. I have 1 out of every 9 dreams that come true. I can speak to wildlife and make friends. I can predict plane crashes and news stories. I can manifest things that I might need or want. I can predict lottery numbers or scratch ticket winners for friends and family. I can see/communicate with ghosts and the dead. I can dream about my departed pets or family members. Question: are there one or several parts of your experience that are especially meaningful or significant to you? Answer: learning to love, learning to let go of fear. I also have strange magnetic powers. I cause streetlights to blow out or go out sometimes when I walk or drive past them. I was banned from working at an office for several years because I would blow monitors and keyboards. I have interference with police scanners and radios. I can drain the power instantly out of cell phone batteries or watches. I have pet or helped mountain lions, coyotes, foxes, and raccoons in the wild. Animals love me! ! I get to love and pet ducks, geese, rabbits, and birds. I save all creatures, great and small. I talk to my plants. I use ESP to find lost dogs' homes, especially this time of year with fireworks going off each year. I can't help it. I love the entire animal kingdom, even the spiders and bugs! Question: what did you believe about the reality of your experience? Answer: experience was definitely real. Feels just like the other day. Time hasn't lessened or changed the experience. I know that it was real. I know that we don't die. I know that we are all brothers and sisters. I know that we really do love each other very much. I know that God exists. Question: at any time in your life, has anything ever reproduced any part of the experience? Answer: yes. I had another hemorrhage with my other daughter in 1995, and it was the exact same. Only I fought it and tried to return to Earth and not go into the light. I ended up almost going to hell. It was awful. I swiftly went back to the light. Question: is there anything else you would like to add about your experience? Answer: I was strangled by a madman with eyes that were all completely black. This occurred in May of 2002. I survived by shining unconditional love from my eyes into his. I did not have an NDE, but I had a hard time waking up and remembering my name. End quote. End story. Some awesome knowledge. Great